All right, darlings, settle in, because if you thought your life was a relentless parade of thankless tasks, just wait. Today, we're tearing back the gilded curtain on the utterly exhausting world of Princess Anne, the unsung hero, or perhaps the over-caffeinated martyr of the British royal family. Clearly, someone needs a very long, very quiet lie-down, but it's almost certainly not Anne. It's the poor, perpetually bewildered souls desperately trying to keep pace with her legendary schedule of doom. You can practically hear the collective sigh of resignation wafting through the hallowed, yet clearly understaffed corridors of Buckingham Palace. Let's be real. Buckingham Palace has just dropped a bombshell that speaks volumes, not about royal efficiency, but about pure, unadulterated institutional panic. They've had to take a major decisive step, which, let's face it, sounds suspiciously like a white flag of surrender, to alleviate the immense pressure on the Princess Royal. Imagine a royal so terrifyingly efficient, so relentlessly on, that the entire ancient institution is quite literally cracking under the strain of her sheer, unadulterated dedication. This isn't just a minor logistical hiccup that a slightly larger diary could fix. It's a profound, public admission that one woman's iron will, her indefatigable, and frankly slightly unnerving, work ethic is single-handedly exposing the rest of the monarchy as, well, rather less indefatigable and significantly more prone to napping. You can almost hear the teacups rattling from sheer administrative terror, while somewhere a very expensive palace clock has simply stopped, overwhelmed by the pace. For decades, Anne has been quietly, oh so quietly, lest anyone else feel inadequate, celebrated for her extraordinary commitment. She's a sort of human perpetual motion machine, powered by sheer stubbornness, and, one can only assume, a diet of strong tea and even stronger resolve. Her indefatigable spirit and genuine sincerity, bless her heart she truly sells it, have, according to the official narrative, been the only things holding the monarchy's enduring relevance together. And honestly, who could possibly argue with that? Especially now, with poor King Charles III bravely battling his cancer diagnosis, presumably from a slightly less demanding schedule. Suddenly, Anne's robot-like efficiency isn't just a quirky family trait. It's the only thing keeping the royal circus from collapsing into a tragic pile of velvet cushions, unread briefing notes, and very confused corgis. She's risen to this challenge with characteristic stoicism, which, let's interpret honestly, is palace speak for she's still standing, unlike literally everyone else, and probably enjoying every minute of being the only adult in the room. Somewhere in a gilded drawing room, a lesser royal is probably still trying to figure out how to switch on a Zoom call, while Anne is already on her third overseas trip of the week. But let's talk numbers, shall we? Because this is precisely where the comedy truly hits its peak, escalating into a full-blown farce. Our dear Princess Royal, who, gasp, turns a sprightly 75 this year, somehow manages to clock nearly 500 official engagements annually. 500! While other, shall we say, less motivated members of the family are perfecting their regal wave, or, just existing in a state of expensive repose, Anne is out there, a human hurricane in sensible shoes. She's opening new facilities that no one asked for, presiding over award ceremonies where everyone looks slightly terrified, inspecting military regiments with a gaze that could curdle milk, and undertaking significant overseas visits that surely leave entire diplomatic teams gasping for air. Each of these events is not a mere casual appearance. Oh no, it's a meticulously planned ordeal, requiring extensive travel and the mental fortitude to engage with countless individuals with genuine interest and warmth. Honestly, you can practically picture her face, a mask of polite, unyielding endurance, powered by pure adrenaline, the ghosts of forgotten tea breaks, and the deeply satisfying knowledge that someone, somewhere, is probably still in bed, contemplating their first croissant. And this sheer volume and complexity has, naturally, led to an administrative challenge of considerable proportions. Translation? The existing staff are not just struggling, they are practically on life support, sustained only by sheer terror and lukewarm instant coffee. So, what's the palace's brilliant, innovative solution to this royal-induced chaos? A new program manager? But don't you dare call it a glorified PA, darling. This is a sophisticated position, requiring a highly organised and strategically minded individual to orchestrate the intricate dance of royal commitments. Imagine the job description for this mythical beast. Must possess the patience of a saint, the organisational skills of a tactical general, the ability to track a human whirlwind in a teacup, and a strong constitution for enduring polite yet utterly relentless efficiency. The very existence of this advertisement screams desperation louder than a banshee in a library. Royal expert Richard Eden, bless his brave, truth-telling heart, who clearly has a death wish, candidly spilled the tea. Palace staff are indeed struggling to manage Anne's day-to-day schedule. The Daily Mail, that venerable bastion of understated, nuanced reporting, even chimed in, confirming staff appeared to struggle to keep up. Appeared to struggle? Clearly, they're just trying to avoid a lawsuit from the exhausted palace interns who haven't slept since the last Jubilee. This isn't a relentless whirlwind, it's a full-blown Category 5 human hurricane. And this is where it gets even richer, if you can believe it. This isn't even the first time they've advertised for this mythical beast of a manager. Oh no, 2 years ago they tried. Clearly, that poor, unsuspecting soul either ran screaming into the night, developed a sudden, mysterious allergy to royal protocol, or simply evaporated under the sheer, unyielding weight of Anne's packed diary. Now they're back at it, desperate, offering a whopping pay increase, from a laughable 32,500 talents to a princely yet still entirely inadequate 38,000 spien talents. Because obviously you need to pay top dollar to find someone willing to voluntarily step into a logistical war zone, where the main enemy is a woman who simply never stops. It's not just a raise, it's a hazard pay bonus, a battle stipend for dealing with the human equivalent of a perpetually moving, highly efficient, and utterly unforgiving target. One can only assume the previous manager is now living a quiet life in a remote cabin, tending to goats and muttering about spreadsheets. But the real kicker, the absolute cherry on top of this royal absurdity? Last year, Anne, with her impressive 420 Belfry engagements, actually surpassed her ailing brother, the king, who was, fighting cancer. Oh, the sweet, delicious irony! While Charles was undergoing vital treatment, presumably from the comfort of a slightly less demanding schedule, Anne was out there, a one-woman show, shouldering an even greater burden. You can almost hear her internally tutting. See, this is how it's done, dear brother. A pillar of strength, indeed. More like a human bulldozer, clearing the path for the rest of them to, well, to do whatever it is they do, which clearly isn't nearly as much. Her steadfastness during this delicate period wasn't just reassurance, it was a thinly veiled, highly competitive flexing of royal muscle. But wait, darlings, there's even more. The fascinating layer to Anne's future plans, according to an insider with close knowledge, read, someone who probably overheard it at a particularly dull garden party while desperately trying to avoid eye contact, is her retirement strategy. Get this, she plans to push on with work until she is 80, then start winding down a bit, and then copy the late Duke of Edinburgh and wind down completely at 90. 90! Let that sink in. In an era where most of us are dreaming of early retirement at 55, or at least a semi-retired existence by 65, Anne is planning to wind down a bit in her 9th decade. It's less a retirement plan and more a chilling declaration of eternal servitude, a grim promise to haunt every ribbon-cutting ceremony and military parade until she's practically fossilised into a permanent fixture. Clearly, duty for Anne means never letting go, even with a white-knuckle grip. It's a pragmatic understanding of how to manage a lifetime of public service, or perhaps a terrifying inability to imagine a life without it. She's even copying her late father, Prince Philip, who, bless his heart, managed to drag himself to 96 before finally hanging up his ceremonial hat. Anne, clearly not to be outdone, aims for a similar, if slightly more extended, tenure. This isn't just dedication, it's an unshakable grip on the royal calendar, a refusal to let anyone else get a word in edgewise, or indeed, an engagement. The slimmed-down monarchy they're all supposedly aiming for, Anne seems determined to prove she is the slimmed-down monarchy, with everyone else merely decorative window dressing, silently cowering from her legendary work ethic. So, the appointment of this new programme manager? It's not just a clerical hire, it's a strategic imperative, a desperate plea for help, a human sacrifice for the altar of Anne's relentless schedule. It's an admission that even the most dedicated royal, a woman who generates more work than a small army of bureaucrats, needs a robust support system, preferably one that comes with its own therapist and a strong espresso machine. Her unfussy approach and calm, pragmatic demeanour are merely the impenetrable veneer over a woman who has perfected the art of making everyone else look utterly useless. She's not one for grand gestures, because honestly, who has the time when you're busy running the entire show? Her compelling narrative of duty, resilience, and unwavering commitment is truly a spectacle. A tragedy in 3 acts. Act 1, Anne is born. Act 2, Anne works relentlessly. Act 3, Anne continues to work relentlessly, probably from beyond the grave. Princess Anne, not just a working royal, but the indispensable, irreplaceable, perpetually in motion asset to the crown. And somewhere, a newly hired programme manager is probably already updating their CV, just in case, while quietly sobbing into a spreadsheet. What are your thoughts on this human tornado of duty? Do you admire her dedication, or just feel deeply, deeply sorry for her perpetually exhausted staff? Spill the tea below, darlings. We always love to hear your wonderfully cynical, perfectly venomous takes.